Warrior cats and romance plots have been inseparable since almost the very beginning, and in this new book Sky, it more or less takes over the main plot. As much as I wanted my first video about the new book to be about the River Clan drama, the Nightheart x Sunbeam romance is just a much easier topic. The romance isn't particularly good, it's just the book demands you pay attention to it, and my attention has been thoroughly given. So Frostpaw, gonna need a bit more time to process what's going on there. Let's talk about the strange things going on with these two. I've called them the echo of the Bristlefrost Rootspring romance in the past, but in a way, they're kind of the anti-Bristleroot. In Bristleroot, neither cat felt able to leave their clans behind and make their relationship a reality, but in Night Sun, they are both completely at odds with their clans, and Nightheart actually does end up leaving ThunderClan with little hesitation. It's clear that romance is their escape. They are both each other's one cat who gives them the time of day to actually talk and understand. And sure, that's cute, but it doesn't quite feel like their actual problems are answered this way. So at this point, whether this romance actually becomes a good story is entirely dependent on future books. We have to look at the underlying conflicts with their characters first, and hope that they can be resolved. Let's talk Sunbeam first. Sunbeam's issues in ShadowClan. First and foremost, her mother Berryheart. She is a hateful cat with her own crew, very upset with clan swapping. Sunbeam finally speaks up to Berryheart in this book, showing her support for her brother Spiresight and his relationship with Fringe Whisker. But of course, things are far from resolved. Berryheart does not waver on her stance. Second, Sunbeam has tension with Lightleap and Blazefire. It goes back and forth whether she is more invested in Blazefire's feelings or Lightleap's feelings, but it stands true she genuinely cares for what the two think of her, and she feels genuinely upset when they spend time with each other excluding her. We see a very different side to Lightleap in this book. In River, she was very stuck up, she dismissed Sunbeam's feelings, and she was constantly bothered by her memories of not being mature enough to travel to the Dark Forest. But now she's just kinda moved on and acts more carefree and shallow. Suddenly Sunbeam becomes the immature one hating Lightleap for no reason. And I like the idea of Sunbeam battling what is essentially herself as she paints a picture of Lightleap and Blazefire that is at odds with the way those two cats actually are. And we could see how much better she would feel if she would just make the effort to actually talk to them. Even despite the lack of consistency, I do feel invested. Now Nightheart's problems. I would talk about Nightheart not getting along with his family Sparkpelt and Finchlight, but for some reason this book sort of forgets this conflict is a thing after Nightheart's first chapter. Instead, Nightheart just kind of floats around Bramblestar's growing issues in this book as he fights with Squirrelflight, and then Nightheart himself gets to fight with Squirrelflight. Squirrelflight makes him do apprentice duties all book for reasons that aren't explained. Why do we have to make Squirrelflight the punching bag of the plot? It's just, what I'm getting with Nightheart is a conflict that makes no sense. Rather than being developed in a meaningful way, it's just being rushed in favor of setting up the wacky Nightheart and ShadowClan antics for the next book. Finchlight and Sparkpelt are his literal sister and mom. Why can't he just talk to them? Instead we have Bayshine shoved in as the cat most upset by Nightheart leaving, even though Finchlight in particular was so supportive in book 1. At the end of River, we saw Nightheart make a stand for himself on the matter of his name, and it was decided that he would only carry half of Firestar's name, a way to empower his unique self without completely forgetting his past. And that was good, it was nice, but we don't see that progress anymore. So Sunbeam has problems, Nightheart has problems, and then they also get a romance plot that sort of stems out of that. I have no idea where they're going with this, but I do know where I want them to go with it. Basically, I want them to learn that their relationship doesn't make their problems go away. That while it can be nice to have someone that can be your escape, you can't just use a romantic partner to erase your problems. That's just asking for too much. And I'm especially looking at Nightheart here. Sunbeam is already making strides in standing up to her mom and such, and she's not the one who abandoned their clan. Nightheart has a lot out of his control, with cats being mean to him for no reason, but back in River, his character flaws were much more developed and made sense. He was impulsive, self-centered, and he refused to allow himself even the smallest amounts of humility in order to repair relationships and meet halfway. He was good at speaking up for himself, but didn't always have the right attitude or approach, and would often avoid the situation entirely rather than talk things out, such as the gathering where he retreats to his brooding space. Sunbeam enabled this behavior by agreeing with him, and in the bubble of the quest he becomes much more bearable because he is away from the challenges that brought out his nastiness. But what I hope happens going forward is that rather than escaping his problems in Shadow Clan, he brings his problems with him. He will still be judged, and he still needs to learn to be nicer to cats. It's fine for him to spend time with Sunbeam. Sunbeam is great for him in the short term, but ultimately he needs to better his attitude or he will drive her away as well. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for now. It really won't be clear if this romance plot is worth anything until the next book. Alright, bye everyone!